Hi everybody and welcome back to Mrs. Richie Crochets. Today I'm going to show you how to make a zipper bag using the moss stitch. First, taking a look at the zipper, I bought this off Walmart. It's a little longer than I want it to be, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to make that a little smaller. We also need to be careful because it doesn't have that metal stopper on it. And then this is the yarn I'm using. I have this light blue color. It is loops and threads. The color number is 1758. I'm also using I Heart This yarn in the color terracotta. This yarn, I Heart This yarn brand, is the most soft acrylic yarn, sorry, I cannot think of what I'm thinking of, that I've ever worked with. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut some of the first color I'm going to use. And I'm going to get a big needle that has a very big eye on it, and I'm going to thread my needle. My hook I'm using is a size 4, and my hook is not going to fit through this, so I'm going to have to sew around the outside, just regular hand sewing, nothing complicated, and make stitches. So I'm going to start back in the back, measuring where I want it to be. And I'm going to make sure that I'm on the correct side of the zipper. And I want to be like right in the middle. There's like a zigzag line, and where it goes down is where I want to be. And I'm just pulling my yarn through. So I have just a decent tail at the bottom. And I'm just going to work my way up first. And I want to make smaller stitches that are really close together. Like that big. And I want to be coming in about right there. I mean, like pretty close together. My stitches, whoops, goodness, probably won't be that close together again. I'm not very good at making my hand stitches very even, so don't judge. And a hack is go in with your needle however long you want your space to be. This is marking my space. And then this next part is how long I want my stitch to be. And again, how long I want my space to be. And then wherever you see the needle is where you're going to see your yarn. So the white pieces is how far apart my stitches are going to be. And then I'm just going to grab it and pull. And so I can make multiple stitches at a time. So as you can tell, my stitches are not even. They will not be. You're not going to really notice this. Just try to keep it in a straight line. I'm going to finish going all the way down, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, I made it to the end, and as you can see, my stitches are not like straight, they're not even. It's fine. I have my yarn sticking out. This is the end of my zipper right here, and I don't want it to be, like I don't want my stitches to stop all the way up here. You need to make sure your stitches are lining up. So next we're going to go across the zipper so that we're cutting it off, because in your zipper bag you don't want to see this up here. So cutting it off there, and then I'm just going to do the same thing down the other side. Nothing complicated. And I'll show you what it looks like when I get back to the other end. Okay, I came up the other side and my yarn is coming out on the top, and I'm going to go over just like I did at the other end of the zipper. And my yarn is going to knot up. I cut this way too long. Goodness, okay, there we go. Come on. Okay, so it should look something like this. Maybe your stitches look better than mine. Hopefully they do. Okay, and then my tail ends are right there. I'm just gonna tie them together. Just like tying a shoelace. Okay, and now I'm gonna trim them. And let me take my needle off. Now we have something to get started with. We're gonna start off with a slip knot. So I wrap my yarn with my tail facing me, wrap my tail away from me, and I hold it with my dominant hand, wrap my yarn around my hook, and I chain one. That's how I start a slip knot. I'm gonna pick this side, just a random stitch, just pick a different stitch. And I'm gonna do just a single crochet. And I need to be, sorry, let me change my position. Sometimes if I have like a lot of room between my stitches, I'll put 2 stitches in there. I'm just eyeballing this. So I put 2 stitches in that stitch. This one also has quite a bit of room between it. About every other one, I'll put 2 stitches in. Sorry if I kind of sound weird. My allergies are getting really bad right now, and I hope I'm not getting sick. So last one I just did 1 single crochet. This time I did 2. This time I'm just going to do 1. And in this stitch I'll do 2. Okay, and I'm just going to do that all the way down, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is where I'm at now. I have single crochets every other stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the other stitches, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to go through and put 2 or 3 single crochets in this one. See how well they fit. Yeah, we'll do 3. And then 1, and then down here we'll do 2 single crochets, and just following that 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet pattern all the way through. So I just did 2, so this one only gets 1, but this stitch gets 2. All the way down to the other side. Okay, it's alright if yours is like coiling up like mine just was just a second ago. It doesn't have any weight to it yet, and it will, so then it'll straighten out. But I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other end, and I'm going to put 3 single crochets into this horizontal stitch at the top and the bottom of the zipper. So that's 2 single crochets, and this is 3. So now we have made it all the way around to where we first began, and I'm going to put a slip stitch. So I'm going to, in that first chain. So I'm going to find that first chain right here. This is the knot the slip stitch made. This is the first chain right here, so I'm going to put my hook through there. Come on, hook. Okay. And then you just yarn over and then pull through everything. That's a slip stitch. So I'm going to do what's called the moss stitch. And to do that, you chain 2. If you're starting out, like, sorry, I should say this first. If you're going to make this without making it onto something, you should chain evens. So if you're like making a blanket and you're just starting out and you're doing like all of your chains like this, you should make an even number of chains, so count your chains. But since we're starting from something, we just need to make an even number of chains to start with as well. Let me count mine. Whew. Okay, So I have 22 on this side and 23 on the other side. What I'm going to do with the 23 on the other side is just do a decrease somewhere. I'll show you how to do that later, but we're starting on the side with 22. So we'll go from, well, I guess I should show you just in case you have the same issue and you're starting out on the other side. This is how you do a decrease. Yarn over like you're doing a single crochet, pull up a loop, you have 2 loops on your hook, go into the next loop, yarn over again, pull the first loop through the other 2. That's a decrease. What it means by the name is you are decreasing the amount of stitches by turning 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So anyways, chain 2, and we're going to do a skip 1 chain and do a single crochet. And then we're going to chain 1 and do a single crochet. Oh wait, skip 1 chain. Sorry, skip 1 stitch, not a chain. So this is where we were, skipping this one, going into this one. And we're just following that pattern. It's pretty easy. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, single crochet into the next spot. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next spot. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next spot. So I'm going to do this. You should see like little bitty gaps in between all of your pieces. I'm going to do this until I get to the end. Okay, I am at the end and I finished off with a single crochet. So now I'm going to chain 2, just like I did at the beginning. And now I'm working into the holes that it made. So those single crocheted, the chain 1 gaps. So this is where I was, this is a chain 1 gap, this is where I was, this is a chain 1 gap. And we're just going through and doing the same exact thing into the gap, and you're not going like through the chain, you're going into the hole. And single crochet. Oh wait, sorry, I was doing a double crochet. Sorry, chain 2 into that hole, single crochet, chain 1 into that gap, single crochet, chain 1 into the gap, single crochet, chain 1 into the gap, single crochet. Okay, just keep doing that all the way to the end. And make sure you're going underneath the bridges, it looks like almost. They make little triangle pieces. I know there's kind of a hole right here, but that's not where you want to be. You want to be into the little triangles where my fingers are. That's where you want to go. So make sure you're going in that spot. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. And I finished at the end again. So I'm going to chain 2 again. And I already turned my work. So right into those chain spots. Oh, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, into those chain spots. And keep doing this until you get the desired length. Here in a little bit, I'm going to make it about that thick. Then I'm going to add like 2 rows of blue lines. I'm going to have thick orange spots and then like small blue spots. So I'll show you how to switch colors if that's something you want to do. But now you're just making it however big you want it to be. You can make this bag like that thick. You can make it really, really skinny, like just a pencil bag. You can make it like just enough to hold your glasses. Okay, I'm going to show you how to switch colors. I made it as long as I wanted to for the first section. I'm going to make a small blue section and then finish off with the same amount of orange. Sorry, that's my ice machine. So this is, I forgot what kind of knot this is called, but it's the best knot in crochet. It doesn't ever come undone. It's super secure. You can't hardly ever see it. So you start off with your pieces like this. I cut this one just a little too short, so bear with me. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. So this blue one is going to tie around this orange one, and then this orange one's going to tie around the blue one. So you're creating 2 little knots. I'm going to start off with this end. So I'm just, like I said, just tying it around. This blue one's going to stay straight.
Do you see that? Yeah, okay. And then the orange one just went and tied around it while the blue stays straight. And then the same thing with the blue. It's going to go around the orange while the orange just stays there. So the blue got wrapped all the way around, and then I put the tail through the hole I created. Then I tighten it. This knot is movable. I can make it wider. And then if I pull on both working ends, makes it tighter. So this knot's never going to come undone. Sit there, pull it really hard. If I pull on the tails, I can loosen it up. But I'm going to cut the tails off really short, so you're never going to pull on the tails because they won't be there. Like I said, I cut them pretty short and it's not going anywhere. So I'm just continuing on with my moss stitch. 2 chains and skipping a chain every other one. Actually, I really want this to be shorter. I want my stitch to start here. So that's how you can connect it. I'm actually going to do a different way. That's the best knot you should use, but this is a different one. So I just cut that out. And I'm going to close this hole. So I pulled my yarn out. I'm going to start another slip stitch, sorry, on my hook the same way I used the very beginning. And I'm going to go through, find my last chain spot, and I'm going to chain 2. I just chained 3, just that first one was getting it connected. And then I'm going to take my both of my tails because my orange ones still could come undone. I'm going to take them and tie them together. Just like a regular knot. Okay. That other knot that I showed you, that's the best knot, would have worked if I would have cut the orange a little shorter. If I had planned it out a little better. And then I'm just continuing on every other stitch, putting a single crochet and chaining 1 in between. Okay, come on, single crochet. There we go. Chaining 1 in between, skipping a stitch, chaining 1 in between. And it'll look like that. I will show you. I'm going to finish the rest of this, change colors back to orange, finish the bag off on this side, do the other side, and then I'll show you how to connect it. Okay, I kind of started without you all. Sorry. Whenever you're closing up your zipper bag, make sure that your zipper is open, or else it's gonna have a really hard time getting it inside out. You can sew it regularly, or you can just do this sewing stitch. I'm just doing a single crochet all around the outside, making sure I'm grabbing both edges. And that's how I'm going to finish this off. I'll take a picture of it and you'll see the final product. So that's all I'm going to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.